Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of theVOX Fireside Chats, Valentine's Day edition, joined today by our special guest, Watu Head of Commercial, Mr. Chris Rumenda. Chris, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks you for having me. I like your energy. You always like this?
Absolutely. Are you ready, Chris?
Very ready. Be careful with the questions you're asking. I know you guys.
So, first of all, Chris, I like to start off these interviews by understanding a bit about people's personal contexts. Yeah. If people are like soup, let's say, everyone's made of different ingredients that they have thrown in along the way. So taking us all back to your very earliest days, your childhood, what were those first key ingredients that helped shape the man before me today?
Yeah. I've been kind of a nomad growing up. Grown up in different towns. I was born in Kericho. Yeah, interesting. My wife also comes from Kericho, so I think that's where we met. So born in Kericho. I moved on to a small town called Londiani. In the early 1990s in Londiani. I don't know, some of you were born, there were clashes in 1992 in Londiani. So imagine just growing up and then one of the first things you're seeing is post-election violence within 1992. So with that particular point, I had to go to my rural place in Western Kenya, a small village called Monami. And just to answer specifically, the first bits of shaping up was competition. So I was there with all my cousins. I had like 20 cousins. Coming from what we call a town to a rural place. And there are these rumors and myths about Luyas and loving food. I experienced that really firsthand because at that particular point, my grandmother will cook food and put it at the center, and all of us have to eat. So within the first few seconds, you're going for your ugali. As you go for the next one, there is no other ugali. So you have to learn and adapt and everything. So I realized that during my very early stages, there's a lot of competition.
Survival of the fittest.
I learned so fast. I learned how to use both my hands. I could take the first one with this hand and then keep some savings on the other side and then use that to do that. So that's one of the things that shaped up my character. And then growing up, I grew up now mostly raised by my mom. My mom was a nurse, just retired. And one thing about my mom is what we call in Swahili, maskini jeuri. So my mom is that type of person who like, yes, you can be poor, but you must be proud, have your dignity and everything. People should not just trample on you. So when I was going to high school, my mom would tell me like, what do you want? What do you see with other people in school and you want? So I will write a list of everything that I ever wanted. And then she will use all her means necessary to get that and give that to me. Until one day at half-term, I look at her phone and everyone is asking her for money. Like she has a date here and there just to try and provide for us. And that day I went to school, when she asked me, what do you want? I was like, I'm now a prefect. I play hockey. The school provides everything for us. So I just went to school.
And what age was that around?
That was around, I would say around 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just went to school and had to find my way of surviving around. Like I joined what we call 4K club. For those who are very old and fossils like me will understand what that means. Like growing your own food in school, playing games to get allowance so that you can actually survive. So it taught me two things. So one is when you have children and dependents, you have to do your best to actually provide for them. So there's that facet that we cannot see, but there's a lot of people like struggling behind the scene to ensure that the people have food at the table, etc. So I learned that. And then also, how do you now fend for yourself? So those are some of the key things that actually shaped my childhood. Yeah.
And how about school itself? How were you as a student in those early years?
Yeah, not a rumor. I was an A student. I was actually an A student. I was the first student in my division. I got pretty good marks, 417 out of 500 in primary school.
Hey.
Joined one of the best high schools in Western Kenya called Front School Kamsinga. I got an A-. But due to Valentine's and love, I followed someone to a specific university just to ensure that we are together.
Yeah.
I did banking and finance, but I'd always had a passion for IT. So last week there was something trending on ChatGPT where people were putting were letting ChatGPT explain to them who they are and the character of them.
I did it as well.
I did that, and it brought something completely opposite. It was about coding and computers and everything, because that's what most of the things that I always search about. So did that, and then I've done basic courses here and there, digital marketing, and then ventured into e-commerce. But a student, yeah.
And then throughout university as well, you said you were studying
Egerton.
Okay.
Yeah, university, I'll be very honest, I didn't go to school to learn. I went to university to learn live, like just how do you live? That's one of the key things I took from university. We went to, during our times, you're going to universities whereby they're not like current universities at a particular point. My university had strikes every year, so you'll take a really long time before you can actually complete school. I took us almost 4.5 years to just finish our bachelor's degree. So in university, we had lecturers that don't show up. I think that's what most common Kenyan universities have, especially the public ones. A lot of lecturers not showing up. So it's your own initiative to see what you can do and actually learn. And coming from a very strict high school, I went to university, I sensed a lot of freedom. So at that particular point, this is my opportunity to do anything that I want. So I have a class or a movie to watch. Which one am I choosing? I'm like, I'll choose the movie instead of a class. Until I got to my 4th year, and I realized where I come from, and the sacrifice that everyone has done for me to get to where I am. So I remembered my mama's story. I remember that my sister could not go to university for me to go to university. So I remembered all of these things, and I'm like, okay, if I do not graduate, my mother is going to come with a full school bus with everyone from the village for my graduation, and I'm not graduating. So my 4th year is the hardest I've ever worked in my life.
Yeah.
I think I was the top student in class in 4th year, just to ensure that I get enough grades for me to actually graduate. So yeah. Yeah.
And you're also known as a bit of a sportsman.
Yeah.
Did you get involved in sports clubs at uni, or was that after?
Yeah, so I've always been involved in sports since I was young. I used to play football in primary school. I went to high school. Those of you who come from Western Kenya understand how huge people can be. So I was part of the school team, but you're too small to play.
Yeah.
So I had to shift. And
what position were you playing?
Yeah. I used to be a midfielder. I've always been a midfielder, even at Watu Legacy team. I'm still a midfielder. So I had to shift to play field hockey. So my school was known for hockey. My school is 13 times national champions for hockey across secondary schools, and then 2 times East African champions. So I've been part of that. So I'm 2 times East African champion for hockey, and then also national champions. I've recently rejoined hockey. I started playing hockey a few months ago, I think last year. Okay. When you get to my age, you start seeing your friends falling all over the place, high blood pressure and other things. You have to start taking care of your health. So I joined hockey again. I'm playing professionally for a league club, Parklands Sports Club. I'm looking forward to the next season. So quite interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
What position is that now?
Yeah, so right now, because I'm a bit lazy and slow, I'm a defender. So I'm a defender. You don't need to use a lot of energy in that particular position. Yeah, but interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so throughout your time at university, did you get involved in any sort of side hustles at all, or did you take your first job after university? Yeah,
so I had to start side hustles very early. I come from a generation whereby you finish high school, you have to stay home for a while. So there's a gap. There's a program by the government. Right? Exactly. Yeah. There's a program by the government to take people to NIS. Guys are not that old, but the old ones will understand. Yeah. So during that time, I had that interest in computers.
Maybe just explain that.
Yeah.
It's previously there was 2 years national service.
Yes. Yeah. So previously people had to go to NYS, but a lot of people stopped doing that. They were not volunteering, so it was just a gap. And then there was also we didn't have enough spaces for universities. Okay. So we didn't have a lot of colleges at that particular point. At that time, I think it was like 6 only 6 universities across the country, plus the private ones, which were very expensive. And it was just out of what we had as parallel education. So at that particular time, it was quite difficult.
And that's like 18, 19, 20 years old?
Almost. So we're talking about, that's around 2006, 2005, 2006, around that particular point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what did you get up to in that 2 year gap?
So when I was in high school, computers, we had a computer lab, but only kids from Nairobi are allowed to play with the computers in the computer lab. So for us from the real places, we were not even trusted to touch the mouse.
Really?
Yeah, so you go to the computer lab and you're like, you guys from Webuye, just sit around there. Yeah.
Why? Because...
they were expensive. There were very few computers, so it was a bit difficult. And then for you even to do computing, you had to have the best grades across the school. So really difficult for us to do that. So after high school, I met a friend whose mother was doing a PhD thesis and had a computer. So we will go there to play games. So while everyone was playing games, I was quite curious playing with various things. This guy had also studied computing in Alliance High School. So his uncle saw it as a business opportunity and started just a not even a cyber cafe, a place to print documents, type for teachers, etc. So this guy worked there for around 3 months and got a scholarship to go to Strathmore. But since I was going there every day, the uncle is like, okay, you're the only other person who knows computer in the whole of this area, so you start working today. My most interesting experience is teachers were reapplying for their jobs, so we had to type CVs. So there is a very important, there's an important button in the keyboard called insert. Okay. I don't know if you've ever experienced what it can do to you. So if that button is activated, it replaces everything you're typing on this other side.
Right.
So I had a CV.
Yeah.
And then I had to make corrections. Yeah. So I ended up retyping the whole CV. So everyone is waiting, etc. So I developed a lot of interest in computers. And then after that time, 3 months later, one computer got a virus. They got someone from Nairobi to come and fix it. This person came and charged that 3,000 shillings. So that was our full profit. So I was not paid that month. But I was like, okay, it's just formatting a computer. Let me learn and see what can be done. So I learned how to format computers. When we started having dial-up internet where you'll connect your phone and everything, I learned a lot about computers, etc. And then developed that interest. I became one of the best computer experts around Western Kenya, especially the Bungoma side. I managed to set up cyber cafes. Like right now, if I go to any cyber cafe in that region, I still serve for free because I'm one of the people that actually set up. And it's interesting, some of them have not even adapted the technology up to now. The softwares they're using, we're still using the same things. I still have the same passwords I put, the admin and everything. So
just to give more detail, how would you go about setting up these cyber cafes?
No, at that time it was easy. So we're just looking at the internet that we had. So it was a dial-up internet at first. So the Zukus and every people were not there. So you needed a modem, and then you needed a computer that's a server, and then you needed switches, and then lots of connections with RJ45 pins to the different computers, and then setting up various IP addresses. So something very simple, and that's something that I just learned through the internet and seeing how other people are doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that was your first...
So that was my first job, and I've always been doing it. Whenever I had the long holidays, I will always do that. So I'll come back home and continue doing that. It's always been my backup plan for anything. Whenever I didn't have a job or something to do, I default back to computers. Even right now, I make websites. If someone needs a website, I'm capable of doing that. My first website, someone asked me to make a website, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. I didn't know how to do it. I knew my cousin will do it for me. So he asked how much. It's like 50,000 shillings. I'm like, okay, I'll give my cousin 20. I take the rest. I went to my cousin and like, that's too complex. I can't do it. I'd already done shopping at home with the money and everything. So I'm like, go to the internet and start looking how to create a website from scratch. So I had to learn CMS. I tried HTML and I was like, this cannot be learned overnight because the guy is coming for a demo the next day. So I tried HTML, could not work. I learned Joomla and WordPress, and I was able to do it. So that's how I learned. And since then, it has always shown me like, so long as you just have the right attitude, you can do whatever. However complex an action is, so long as you have the right attitude, you learn and you'll be able to do it.
So would you say you're quite cool under pressure?
Exactly. Like, and I think even my team complains about that because, so for me, is I've gotten to a point whereby I procrastinate a lot, and I cannot be very creative within the first. Like, if I'm given a task, let's say that it's going to take a month. The first 3 weeks, I cannot be creative. However much I'm thinking and everything, I can't be creative.
Yeah.
And then at the last 1 week, that's when I'm able now to do everything. I just started reading about it, and then it actually says like people like us exist. But what happens is we're already thinking about those things, but they're happening behind the scenes, like in the background. So when the deadline comes, everything that you've been planning within the 3 weeks now fits in within that simple time. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay. And then post-university, how did your career take shape after that?
Yeah. So I did one of the most, so it was a very lucrative course when we were starting.
Yeah.
And then it became, when there's a lot of universities that came out after that, it became one of the most common course across. So I did Bachelor of Commerce, Banking and Finance. So after that, like there was really no jobs. So you have to go back home and figure out what to do. So I'm doing these cyber cafe activities, but it's not making a lot of money because even your parent is looking at you. Your parent is looking at you is like, hey, you need to be providing something right now. What's happening? So you have to find things to do. So one of the things I did, there was an MTC in Webuye. And I had a girlfriend who had done nutrition. So we started having a small kiosk where we'll cook food. We'll cook food for the MTC students. Really good. I was dealing with the chapatis. I could make around 42 chapatis from one packet of flour, and then she'll cook on the other side. It was really a good business. And then she got a job. She got a scholarship to go to Israel. I tried dating another girlfriend at that particular point, and they're like, I can't deal with someone who cooks chapati and beans. They didn't know I'm a graduate at that particular point. So to clap back, I just invited them to my graduation. So so that worked, and then so I had to move to the next town. So coming from Western Kenya, we're always afraid of Nairobi. I came to Nairobi before I just got to university, like too big for me. Got lost.
What was the perception?
Too big for me. I came to follow up my HELB loan. I was very clear with the driver and the conductor. You need to take us to Anniversary Towers. We got there, and there were police and county government people. So it's like, I'll take you a few steps back, and then you'll find the space. So when we alighted with a friend, like we got lost in Nairobi, like we walked for like 2 hours trying to find Anniversary Towers. Like I went all the way to Parliament. Right now I understand Anniversary Tower and Parliament and the way that they're quite different. Came back, asked the security guard, where's Anniversary Towers? And I was just asking the security guard. So from that particular time, I've been quite afraid of Nairobi growing up. So next logical town, Eldoret.
Okay.
So Eldoret, a big town for people from Western Kenya. Getting there, seeing a lot of different people, understanding the girls you are seeing, they're even more beautiful people than them out there. So opening up a lot of things, bigger companies and everything. So I had a friend that the parent used to make school uniforms. So the parent had one machine that they're not using. So we carried that machine, went to Eldoret, looked for a corridor, and asked the person, can we rent this space? And the guy is like, there's no space here. He's like, don't worry, we just want this space. So gave us the space for 5,000 shillings. We created a structure there, had our first machine. The school that I went to, since it was performing very well, we had a lot of teachers that became principals in other schools. So we could be able to get tenders to make school uniforms, school sweaters. So I was in charge of everything. I tell people that's the job that taught me everything. Taught me ownership because I was part owner. So it taught me... it
was a partnership, right?
Yeah, it was a partnership. I provide the experience and the work itself. He came from a rich family, so it provides the capital.
Sure.
So I was the marketing officer, I was the HR, I was the accountant, I was filing tax returns. Yeah.
Were you making these school uniforms? Or?
Yeah, I know how to do that up to now. I was among the 5 people in Kenya who knew how to design logos for embroidery machines. I taught a lot of people about that. So really good experience dealing with fundis. They can be hectic. So dealing with other people is a bit easier. Dealing with fundis, ensuring ordering things from suppliers, etc. So very good experience. So I learned a lot there, and then we crossed paths because of profit sharing. Then I went back to my default, creating websites again.
So you had a disagreement.
Yeah, we had a disagreement.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went back to making websites and doing cyber cafe things. My interesting experience is my cousin and I had just slept hungry the previous day. So no food, no nothing.
Yeah.
So we are like, tomorrow we need to get money. So for those of you who know Eldoret, there's a place called Mailitisa. I don't know if you're aware about it. We walked all the way from Eldoret to Mailitisa, going to each shop and each business, hawking our skills. It's like, do you need a website? No. Do you need accounting software or anything? No. Do you need a cleaner? Like, what do you need? Whatever you want, we will do. So we walked all the way, got to the last point, and then we were almost giving up because we have walked, I think it's almost 15 kilometers, and then we have to walk back.
Yeah.
Not eaten.
Yeah.
So almost giving up, and then there's a school at around that roundabout. So we just tried. And asked the guy, okay, we make websites. And it's like, hey, you website people are con men. Can you make a website? There's someone we paid. He has not done anything. I'm like, do you have the cPanel access and everything? He's like, yeah. Gave us the access, gave us the internet. We sat down there together with my cousin and finished the website. We got paid 50,000 shillings. That's what we survived with for several months.
Wow.
Yeah, so good experience. And then we got to a point whereby every month I have a group of friends, and that's what I'll advise people to have. I have core friends that I've grown up with. We always have each other's back. So every month I'll be struggling with rent. My rent was 4,500 shillings. Struggling with the rent at that particular point. So I've saved like 2,000. I will call my friends to give me more. So they got tired and they're like, Chris, you are the smartest among all of us. So come to Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I came to Nairobi. I started doing online writing. We have a lot of rich kids in Europe that do not want to do assignments. So they will share their assignments. We'll do that for them and get paid. So that's how I survived in my early forms of my career.
I want to come back to that one because it's a very funny story.
Yeah.
But maybe just to take us back into your headspace at that point in time, as you were, walking through the towns without, as you said, you'd gone hungry the previous night. How were you feeling at that time, and where did that drive come from to make it work for yourself?
No, at that time, I'll be very honest. I almost gave up because I even wanted to go back to school at that particular point, and then I met a friend who was a CPAK.
What's that, sorry?
Yeah, CPAK, so it's an accounting satisfaction, the best accounting satisfaction.
Yeah.
Had done the same course at me, was training in a college, but his salary was 15,000. So he has an MBA also. So I'm like, I'm not going to go to this direction because if this is the best I can get, then this does not work. So I almost gave up. I think I have something on my Instagram for people that follow me. It's one of the things that I wrote down as my life plan. And at that particular point, it is the lowest of the lowest. Like even my ambition was, 1, clear debts, get food to survive, and just survive. So that was the lowest that I could have ever gotten. But what really helped me is love. Love changed everything. So love and hatred come together. So I had a girl at that particular point that loved money. And that's why I advise a lot of young people is don't focus on love at a very young age. Focus on looking for money. Okay? So loved money and could not hang out with me because I was not drinking. I didn't have money. So we'll have very embarrassing stuff. Literally started dating my next door neighbor. So they could discuss everything about me and I could hear that. So one day I woke up and I'm like, I can't stay in this town. So my friends are also telling me to leave. And then the town is not... the town is just not habitable. I don't have tokens for electricity, so I can't put music or anything, so I could hear everything that they're talking about me. So one day I woke up, took my gas cylinder, took it to a Shylock, gave me 3,000 shillings. I went and bought clothes that look like Nairobi because I had clothes that look like Western and Eldoret. I had the jacket, the things Eldoret people will understand. And then had the fare now to come to Nairobi. I started living with my friends along TRM Drive. At that particular point, I was like, I was like their houseboy. So I would wake up, clean the house, do things for them. They had internet and laptops, so I could apply for jobs, do the online writing things.
Right.
That was the first time I had pizza. And so
pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting experience.
Big milestone.
First time I saw elevators and other things. So you can imagine growing up and seeing all those things. So really good experience. So for me, those drivers were the people around me.
Yeah.
And also love in the wrong places can also help you. Like that rejection actually pushed me to the next level. Like up to now, I'm like, okay, focus, look for the money.
Yeah.
Whatever you want will actually follow.
Right.
Yeah.
There's also some quite tough motivations, though. It's not like particularly positive.
Yeah.
But it drove you to Nairobi.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you started writing all sorts of papers for European students.
Yeah.
Could you explain? Just give a sense of the variety of topics that you covered.
We were jack of all trades. So if you're looking at Kenyan high school, you study a lot. Like when I went home, I met like a Form 2 student. Like the variety of topics that they know. You'll know biology, you'll know all the bonds in the body. Geography, you'll know everything. You'll know insects, you'll know chemistry, you'll know everything. So there's a lot of knowledge that we had at that particular point, but it narrows down when you go to university. So while doing this online writing, such difficult topics like maths and chemistry had the highest amount of money. So you'll even get paid around $20 per page. So some serious money at that particular point. But the easy topics were sociology, religion, and such things. So I used to do all of that. I lost my job when I had a chemistry topic that was very difficult, and there was a party the previous night. So I was called to revise. I could not be available, and that's how I lost that particular job, and I had to now focus on finding a job somewhere.
Sure. And let's head into Jumia. So was that the next step, pretty much, or
so Jumia was the next step, but a big learning I think I might give also for people that are just starting up. I remember just before Jumia, even with all this suffering, there's always that prestige that we've always had that I've gone to campus, and the minimum salary I will start with is 70,000. So even with the desperation and everything, that thing always lingered in my mind. So there's an interview I attended, passed. When I was asked how much money I needed, I said 70,000. And that's how I lost that particular job. So when I went for an interview in Jumia, very interesting story. Like the first interview took 3 minutes.
And this was at age roughly 27, right?
No, so around 26, 27.
26,
yeah. It took around 3 minutes because as soon as I entered the lift at 12:14, by 12:18 I was down. So thinking that I have failed because when I'm a bit nervous, I talk too fast.
Yeah.
So the interviewer was also talking too fast. We finished everything within very few minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going back home, heartbroken, thinking I've lost the job.
Yeah.
And then they call me when I'm in a matatu telling me, hey, you passed the first round. You need to come to the second round. I was so excited, I didn't hear the time. I just heard the word afternoon.
Okay.
So the next day, now I went to one of the cyber cafes to prepare for the interview, look at interview questions and everything that I could prepare for.
Sure.
And then putting on a suit. I had that suit that I used for my graduation. It was still fitting me. So putting on a suit. And then when it got to around 2 p.m., I saw there was a lot of traffic to go to Westlands. So I took a motorbike. And since I had added a bit of weight to Nairobi, I tore my suit all the way around. And then, so I'm in the streets and I'm like, I need to go to this interview. So I go around and ask someone that I can, in Westlands, if I can get a tailor to fix it.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying 1,000 shillings. I have only 200 shillings. Yeah. And then I realized, okay, only 5 people know me in Nairobi. So to hell with it. I went to the interview with the wind blowing and everything. I go to the interview in a suit. I get to this environment where everyone is casual. No one has a suit. No one has a tie. So my first step was to remove the coat, remove the tie, and wait. And then I go to the interview. I find these young ones that were interviewing me, a French guy and a Latvian lady. They were the ones that were interviewing me. And when we started with the questions, I was very tensed. And then I also struggling with the accent and the English. So most of my answers were pardon, and everything related to that. Until they asked like, what is your strength and what's your weakness? So I say that I am very persistent. this French guy got pissed, you know, the way they can be, like, they don't filter things. So they're like, that's bullshit. Give me an example. I stood up and I'm like, I was coming for this interview and this happened. And then I still came. They laughed at me for like 3 minutes. That gave me the confidence. I was able to answer all the other questions. They understood different aspects about me. That's how I got the job. It was an internship at that particular point. We were 6 interns. And then after 6 months, my boss went back to Europe. And since I was the most vocal one at that particular point, I was given now the opportunity to lead the team as they are looking for someone to replace the boss that left. I did the job so well that they never hired anyone at that particular point. I was one of the lucky people to actually move from an intern to a manager at a particular point within a period of around 6 months. Very tough lessons because everyone that you are with, they're now reporting to you. So that girl that you wanted in your team, now they report to you. So a lot of different dynamics. You have to learn a lot of things like how to become very objective when things are not happening. Like, for example, people will come late. And it's like, why are you late? And like, why are you not asking her? Why are you only asking her? So lots of lessons as a very young manager. Like, you have to get for your team to start even respecting you, understanding why you have that position. You've not been given. You actually deserve that position. Took a lot of time. But towards the end, they understood my skill set, especially from the earlier jobs that I've done. And I was able now to grow with my team. I grew into another manager. I became an HOD. I was one of the top employees at Jumia. I was even given shares for the company. I was rewarded with a trip to Thailand. The first time outside Africa, very confusing. Really opened up my mind when I went to Thailand for the first time. I got to an airport whereby there are fewer black people than the rest. So that was really eye-opening. When I look at the oceans and the seas at that particular time, I thought everything was stories ajaba, as we call it in Kenya. It was just like theory. But now you could see things practically. I met a 19-year-old billionaire in Thailand that really inspired me, changed my perspective about life to start thinking very big. And I usually tell people one of the biggest gifts I'll give my son is that exposure, to be able just to see how things work. It gives you a different perspective and you start thinking very big and stop thinking small. I even came back to work and resigned. I came back to work. My boss was very harsh about a petty thing and I was like, oh, resigned. And then I was quickly brought back to reality. She called me in the evening and was like, Chris, how are you going to pay rent this month? And I'm like, okay, how? How are you going to help your family of things that you need to do? And he was like, okay, I don't know, I hope you'll censor this part. He's like, stop being a pussy. Get back to work, rescind your resignation and come back to work. So I had to go back, rescind my resignation and start working again. And I think it's one of the managers that was really tough to me, but also helped me think in a different perspective and helped me grow. So really grew a lot in Jumia as the head of marketplace at Jumia.
Sure. I see we're past the halfway mark. So we'll start heading into some questions from the audience. Hopefully there's some as well that can explain also a bit more of your career, perhaps at Watu as well. But first of all, we've got a question from Shamia Jaffa, who said, what would your younger self be most proud of and most disappointed by? Oh, bit of a deep one.
Yeah, that's a deep one. So proud is the opportunities I took. So most of the time, like when I am beaten and stressed, I actually go back to my LinkedIn and look at how much I have grown. Because I remember when I was in Ethiopia as a CEO, the people that were at the same level with me were like 55, 60-year-old guys. And I was at that particular stage at around 33, 32. So really proud of taking those opportunities that I have gotten. And on the other side, still about opportunity, but it's about health, family, and everything. I think I've not spent a lot of time with my family. I took because of raising my family. I'm a firstborn, so taking care of my family and everything that I've done, I took a lot of time before I could settle down. I got married when I was 35. So at my age, my son is just 2 years old. I always had a wish to take my son out when he's 18. I don't know if that will ever happen because I'm already even struggling to dance and keep up with alcohol at this particular point. But I think that's one of the things that if I was able to change, I will change that bit. I think start a few things earlier, spend more time with my family, spend more time with my kid. Yeah.
Next question is, what do you think is the on the Valentine's theme, what is the biggest green flag and biggest red flag in a partner?
In a partner. Yeah, to the young guys, hey, so it's a bit related to what I said last time, in the last question. If I got married at 27, 28, I will have just followed beauty. I will have just I will have followed beauty, nothing else. Majority of my friends that got married at that particular point are realizing that you can't eat beauty, you can't live with beauty, you can't do a lot of things with beauty. So looking at a partner that is your friend is, I think, one of the most important things that you need to have. You need someone that even when the love fades, there is still an aspect of friendship, and then that the love can layer on top of it. So look at various things. So like when I was planning to get married, I used my business skills. So I had pros and cons for the different people that I was dating at that particular point to be able now to say, this is the one that I'm going to choose. And I made that decision. So don't look at one dimension, look at all the dimensions. So look at someone that is your friend, someone that you can go with through thick and thin. When I was in Ethiopia, I had salary delays for almost 6 months. While dating a girl, I had my girlfriend was in Kenya at that particular point, now my wife. It was a bit of struggle. But for her, she was even able to save money by herself to come and see me in Ethiopia, also support me at that particular point. So having such people is a bit rare, so you need to look at that. And then red flag.
Sorry, just on that story, because I think that one's amazing. So at this time, I believe it was with to do with the MasterCard Foundation, this job in Ethiopia. You'd taken on a role, and they'd stopped paying you for 6 months. Because of poor management. Yeah,
so lots of issues here and there, diversion of funds into other things, and then it's just prioritization, and then also the market was not a fit for e-commerce at that particular point. It's one unique market where there's a lot of demand and there's no supply. So e-commerce creates demand in most cases. So if you see in Kenya, there's a lot of supply. So you need the demand, and e-commerce is an extra channel for people to actually sell. Ethiopia was a bit difficult, so that changed. So during that particular point, there's a bit of struggle.
And what was your situation in Ethiopia when your girlfriend at the time came out to visit you? What was your situation?
It was difficult. I had to, as I say, I am a survivor. So at Ethiopia, so if you look at my LinkedIn, there's a company founded in Ethiopia called Innovo, still existing. It started as a way to survive. So you can imagine you've worked very hard, like hired some of the top talent in Ethiopia, and nothing is working. So picked up a few of them and started up a technology and digital marketing agency. So that's what I started in Ethiopia, and that was for it to pay my bills, make me survive at that particular point as we wait for the salary on this other side.
And then how long had you been dating Faith at that point?
So we've dated, so I've known Faith, I knew her for like 10 years. So at that particular point it was around 6 years.
And then she decided to come and visit you.
She came visit. I managed to employ her because one of the things is an idle wife and idle girlfriend is one of the hardest scenarios to ever have. So I managed also to employ her in the company that I was working. She learned a lot of digital marketing. And interestingly, that's what helped her get another job back in Kenya for one of the NGOs, just to deal with digital marketing and admin, the things that she didn't study in school but learned in Ethiopia.
And is that when you would say that you knew she was the one? Having not been paid for 6 months, you must have been in a tough spot.
It is a combination of factors. So I woke up one day, I think the people were here for the men's event, I told them this. So I woke up one day having not gone to work for a week. On my left side of the bed is like 12 bottles of beer. On my right side, unwashed plates. I've not received my phone. I've not left that bed, like that's called bed rotting for a while. And at that point I was like, no, I'm done. So that's the day I made a decision. I'm going back to Kenya to marry, to start a family, and do my own things. But while this was happening, Watu reached out when this was actually happening. So Watu reached out when this was happening.
Okay.
I came for an interview. Came for an interview in Watu. Met Andre. I did a familiarization visit. Doing research about Watu at that particular point, it looked like a very small company.
Yeah.
I was being interviewed for country manager at that particular point. So moved to Mombasa, looked at everything, then met Andre, Saji, and Andre, and they asked me, "Do you still want to be the country manager?" And I was like, "Nope, this is too big. I can't be the country manager for such a big company," because I was looking at the reports and everything. I'm like, and then they're like, "Okay, that's what we wanted," because we knew if you said it's a head of department, you might not join. So they told me there's a department here. We have around 20,000 bikes that we need to deal with. We have repossessed a lot of bike. We need someone who will provide a solution for us. So that's how secondary marketplace was formed. I was the first HOD for secondary marketplace. Just became a new department at Watu, and we were able to do that bit. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Makoka Jonah, who said, "What's the legacy you wish to leave?"
Yeah, so I come from a very strong line of Rumendas. I think for the secondary marketplace, for the commercial team, I think we had this discussion when we were talking about like what is the origin of your name. So the origin of my name starts from a criminal background. Yeah. So the early ages, one of my great grandfathers had a squabble over land with someone else, and then he was taken to what we call remand. So with the people from my area, they really struggle with pronunciations. One of the kids that was born at that particular point was called Rumenda. So at that particular point, that kid turned out to be one of the pioneers in everything. So that kid became the first person in our village and the whole of that area to ever use an airplane, to ever go abroad, to ever like graduate, the first person to buy a car and do a lot of things. And that's what my mother named me. So I was named after that. And with that, I have to keep that name up.
Yeah.
And I'm still among the first people to do a lot of things within my community and go back to help my community. So that's the legacy that I want to build also for my son and the people around me. A big legacy of Rumendas that are there to help other people actually grow. Yeah.
And speaking about your son Zain, what lessons are you trying to pass on when it comes to love and relationships? And wait, how old is he as well?
So Zain just turned 2.
Okay, so a bit early days.
Yeah, no, they should start that early.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go through the heartbreaks I went through. So they should start that early.
Sure.
So first of all, you need to get the value you need to have value as a person. If you do not have that value, there's no other value that you're going to give someone else. So spend your early ages and everything building your own value, because I realized that as you grow up, you don't even know yourself because you've not experienced different circumstances. So the Chris that was broke and the Chris that was financially stable and the Chris that is stressed are all very different people. So if you are just providing to someone this aspect of your life, then you're loving someone, that person will love someone that you're not. So focus on yourself first for the first as many years as possible. Focus on yourself, build value, and then now when you go to that level, now you have something that you're bringing to the table, and then look for someone that you can complement each other. So someone that you can build and someone that can also build you. That's something that will help you. Like marriage and choosing a partner is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your life. You choose the wrong partner, you're screwed. I think we focus so much when you're looking for jobs, choosing the right job. We do research, and then when it comes to marriage, some of us are just looking for other things. Marriage is one of the most important things. Find the right partner. Yeah.
Very solid advice. Okay, next up, question from Isaac Makaya. Said, February, the month of love, often brings warmth, admiration, and attention. As a young and successful manager, how do you gracefully handle the temptations that come with being admired, especially when some may seek special favors in return?
Yeah. Hey, Unaniseti. Okay. Like at that particular point, you have to look. You have to understand like what value are people bringing into your life. Look, you have to be very careful. When you get to a certain point in your life, there's a lot of people that are going to come into your life. So for you need to demarcate. So you have to be smart enough, like what are you getting from everyone? It's always like a negotiation. So for me, I have friends that I've demarcated depending on everything. I have friends that I seek marriage advice. So I don't do anything with them. I have friends that I play football. I have friends that I hang out with. So I'm able to differentiate what I get from other people and also what they get from me. So what you just need to be very careful is you ensure that you're not being used. You're not getting less than what you can what the people are actually giving you. So that's the balance that you need to strike.
Yeah. So that's the second part about dealing with other people. But the first part of the question was about how do you stay humble? When success comes your way.
So you need to have a pivot. Like I think if I didn't get married, I looked at my life before. If I didn't get married and have a kid, then I will not have what we'll call like the North Star. Because at a difficult particular point, you need to look at your life and see like, what are you living for? Like if you lose that, then there's no reason for you to actually work hard. Because so for me, it was my North Star is where I come from. I remember all the sacrifices that the people have made. My mom has made a lot of sacrifices for me to be where I am today. So she needs to enjoy everything that I can. So one of the most important people in my life, my family have made sacrifices for me. As I told you, my sister had to delay going to school for me to be where I am. My brother we had to share pocket money with my brother when he was in school and I didn't have a job. So you're looking at all those things. So you need to take care of your family. Looking at my wife, an integrate part of my life. So I look at that. I look at my son. Even more important, this is a person that I was responsible for bringing into this earth. So I need to ensure that this person is taken care of. So those things keep you humble because you have a lot of ambitions for them that you need to satisfy.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier on today about your core group of friends. How do they factor into your life in these days? And can you speak to that sort of aspect of love that's more on the friendship side?
So for me, that's brotherhood. These are friends I met in 1999. Lucky for us, some of them went to the same school, another went to Mangu Alliance, so they will be able to. There's a lot of that competition to help you even actually grow. But where it really showed me these are my brothers is my mother was struggling with school fees for my sister. And then we had to have Arambe. Arambe is a fundraising. So we called relatives, friends, and everything. We managed to contribute 110,000. But what was interesting, my 6 friends contributed 90% of that. And at that particular point, all of them are in campus. So they're using their help money and whatever money from the side hustle that they could get to help me. So with that, we've stuck together. When I came to Nairobi and I was telling you, I used to live with them. So we always had an arrangement whereby we live with whoever who has a job. When you get a job, now you move out. The other person lives with you. If someone gets married or gets a girlfriend, you move. So we used to stay together, and we've been friends up to now. So right now we're very deliberate. We make sure every week we meet. We have what we call a chama. I think Kenyans will know it's like a table banking thing where every month we contribute some money. And if any of us has an emergency, that's where the money will come from. We have been best mans and everything in other people's weddings, etc. So a very close group of people that are always there for you and are not afraid to tell you when you're failing and they're there when you're having all the wins. So it's really important for a person to have that. Like a lot of men do not have people that they talk to. But for me now, anytime, I talk a lot. And it's really helped me. So when I get someone I'm comfortable with, I'll tell them everything. I think people that know me know everything about me. And it really helps me sort out all the things that I have within my mind.
Okay. So with this group, how many people is in this group?
So it's a group of 4.
4? Okay. And you meet them every single week in person?
Every week we make sure we meet.
That's amazing.
Unless we're not in Nairobi, we will do even Google meetings. When I was in Ethiopia, we were doing a lot of Google meetings just to discuss. We discussed business ideas. We have tried some, have failed, etc. So really important. And then also growing up, I'm seeing you have opportunities to open up other groups. Like, for example, we have our football group, we call it Watu Legacy. Those people have also become brothers. Like, just something that started at work as a simple thing. We have seen people being there for each other. One of us lost their dad recently, and all of others were there for them. Tomorrow, Met, I don't know if all of you know Met. We are laying Met's mom to rest tomorrow. And most of the supporters come from these groups that have just even been created at work. The hockey team on the other side also doing a lot of things. So it's never too late for anyone to create a group of people that can actually create a support structure for them. Yeah.
Amazing. Next question from Evans Nyakiti is, what is your approach to mentoring the next generation of leaders? And what is your go-to way to unwind after a busy week at work? So a two-parter
there. Okay, so looking at the first part, I've always been passionate about mentoring because I was also mentored. Like if I give you when I was acting in Jumia, I became an employee of the month, and that's why I'm very passionate about the employee of the month opportunity. So I became an employee of the month, and I had an opportunity to sit with the CEO at that particular point. So we had a lunch with the CEO, took me to a very fancy Indian restaurant. I didn't know anything in the menu, struggled a lot to discover what's there, but I was able to survive. I had few stomach issues later, but I was able to survive that. And one of the key things that came up, she asked me like, what is not working in Jumia? So I was very honest with her. And I got an opportunity now to be invited to what we call KLT at that particular point. So I was able to sit with the leaders, understand how they think, how they articulate things, because at that point you will have a very good point, but your choice of words can determine if that action is going to be taken or not. So I learned a lot of that, and that's what really helped me grow. So I took that opportunity at Jumia. I had an intern group that I'll bring in, mentor, and they'll get jobs within the company. It was a very successful project. At Watu, I still do that. I have select people that have reached out to me, that we have a mentoring calendar. We discuss things every week. Right now, I've also just set up for commercial one-on-ones with everyone every month, just to discuss the career growth. I'm always available. And then also, one of the things I usually tell people when I retire is to start a school. And specifically is for mentoring young professionals, both in the corporate world and in the academic world and sports, because those are some of the things we lacked. And I think there are weapons that most of us didn't have, will have grown even faster. I'll give an example. I started working without knowing the levels of Excel. And just to show you, I used to train people on computers. Like I'll train people on computer packages. I'll train them the basics of Excel, like addition and subtraction. And then I get to work, there is VLOOKUPs, there's pivot tables, like that opened up a whole thing. But you can imagine most universities are not teaching people this. Early stages in career, people don't know about this. And these are things that will make your life very easy. So I think it's very important. And it's one of the things that I'm really doing.
Okay. And the second part of the question was, what is your go-to way to unwind after a busy week at work?
I thought I'd run away from that. Yeah. So a few months ago, my winding method, and this is a culture that comes from a lot of startups. At Jumia, we had one of our values was work hard, play hard. So we worked hard and play hard. Like we work up to midnight. But after working hard, we play hard. Immediately after midnight, we'll go to clubs, partying and everything. It was one of the things I did, but it was not healthy. Like we got to an age whereby you go for a night out on Friday, you're going to recover on Tuesday, and you have work and other things to do. So I had to go back to my hobbies. So I went back to hockey. So for me, hockey is really, really important for me. Football, and then I like driving. This has come with a job, so I'll just go to drive for long drives just to unwind. I think I travel around 3,000 kilometers every month, both for work and for personal development. So that's what I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Dennis Njeru, which is, how would you advise men who are much older than 36 years and they haven't married?
I think they're okay. As I said, it's one of the most important decisions. If you've not married because you've not found the right partner, I think that's the right decision. Don't rush and get someone that is not the right partner. But if you really want to get married, it's for you now to determine what type of person that you want. You have to be open, like open up yourself, interact with other people, join the soccer team. There's a lot of beautiful people there that are unmarried, so that can also help. Start having various things that you can do that will really help you. Join social media. Don't join TikTok. Don't join Tinder, but you get there.
Next question is from Natalie. If you could relive one moment in your life, either to witness it again or to change it, what would it be and why?
Phew. So for me, it's both scary, but it's one of the proudest moments I've seen when my son was born. The scary bit was my wife had a CS section. So my child was brought in, but my wife was still there. So for almost 3 hours, I am looking at my kid and I'm like, what are we going to do? Because even being a grown-up, I think I still have childish tendencies in me. So we really don't grow up. So I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, how are we going to take care of each other? Yeah. So that was a bit scary, but the first few minutes was like just seeing this kid looking like me, with an immediate connection, like he was crying, but as soon as I carried him, he stopped crying. One of the proudest moments for me, and seeing him grow. I'll just give us a story about him a few days ago. Another proud moment. So I always try to train Zayn on things. So we went out for a walk. So when we came back and they're like, okay, remove your shoes, arrange them properly. So I took mine and arranged them properly. So when I told him to arrange his shoes, he took the shoes and put them on the shoe rack. So like literally it's like, Dad, you don't know what you're doing. The correct way is actually this. So for me, another proud moment for me. And then I also taught me like you can really learn a lot from the people that you didn't actually expect. So looking at our team members, you look at the janitor somewhere who works in a warehouse. There's a lot of insights and things that you can get from them that you really didn't expect. So I think very proud moments. Yeah.
Okay. Almost coming to the end now, but we'll try and get a few more questions in.
Yeah.
Next one is from Dominic Tanui, who said, if you could go back, what challenge would you handle differently?
Yeah. So, and this also affects Watu, and I think it will help a lot of people. This was my life at Jumia. When you stay in a company, you become used to things. There's a culture. You are the cartel in that company. Like you're the ones that decide how everything works in a company. You understand all the areas, connections, and everything. That was me at Jumia. And then at that particular point, I became very stubborn to learn. I became very stubborn to change. So the company was growing at a very fast pace. So you need to understand each company has different type of people at different stages. So when a company is starting, it needs people that are very creative. People like me. Like needs people that are very creative, willing to take risks, do a lot of different things, etc. It gets to a certain point where Jumia was now being listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So there's a lot of compliance, rules, cages, and things that you can do and things that you cannot do. So I really spent a lot of time fighting instead of adapting and learning at that particular point. So that's something that I should have done different in my career, taken the opportunity because there's a different group of people that are coming in with different skill sets. So how could you learn from those people and also grow and adapt? So that's a challenge I should have handled differently. Yeah.
And I think last question from Robert Lacuni. How would you describe the High Five Watu derby as a sportsman, Chris?
How? I knew the Mombasa team will try to find any opportunity in any event to bring that up. Very, very big lesson. As the Nairobi team, we went to Mombasa for people that don't have context, and we were hammered 5-0. Yeah, but it was one of a trigger moment for us. We had to come back to Nairobi. People started training very hard. We started having friendly matches. People became fit. I think 99% of the team in Nairobi had a pot belly by the time we went to Mombasa. When we went back to Mombasa, but we were able to come back. We didn't hammer them 5-0, but I think it felt the same because we came to your home and hammered you. So really important.
So there's no more mubabas in the Nairobi team.
No. The team has no mubabas. All of us have 6 packs right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. I think we'll wrap things up there. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's an amazing story of tenacity, if nothing else.
Yeah.
With all these different variety of skills and things that you had to do to make ends meet along the way. So thank you so much for sharing sharing your story.
Yeah.
And to all of you who have joined us online, thank you so much for sharing your lunchtime with us. We'd humbly request that you fill in the feedback form that Nat has just shared in the chat. And wish you all a great end to the week. Chris, any last things to say?
Thanks, guys, for having me and giving me the opportunity to share my life. If you have anything, I've shared most of it. If you have more things that you'd like to know about me, you know where to find me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Catch you soon. Bye-bye.